Why Washington's Attorney General's bill could lead to criminalizing free speech. Washington State's Attorney General, Bob Ferguson, has been pushing for a bill that some critics say would criminalize free speech and lead to an Orwellian Ministry of Truth. Ferguson's office released a report last year outlining recommendations for preventing domestic extremism. A bill establishing a commission to build upon that report goes through the state legislature. While the bill would not criminalize speech or association, critics argue it is a natural next step for the commission. The commission is tasked with identifying existing legal options and potentially new legislation for addressing extremism, focusing on proactively fighting misinformation and early signs of radicalization. Despite the bill's good intentions, critics argue it will create a two-tiered justice system where some people have free speech and others don't. According to Liv Finna, Director of Education at the Washington Policy Center, this dangerous path should not be pursued. What do the bill and report say? The law and the Attorney General's report lack specifics on how the state might stop radicalization and extremism. The report singles out online disinformation, anti-government ideologies, and extreme white supremacism as examples of violent domestic extremism. However, the report also cautions against implementing laws that could be disproportionately used against BIPOC communities or other marginalized groups. The bill and report are also short on radicalization, extremism, and disinformation definitions. Neither of them lists actions that might indicate someone is headed toward violence. The research suggests setting up a system where friends and relatives can refer those who may be on the path of radicalization to violence, for voluntary intervention, and developing a statewide training program for staff to recognize red flags and warning indicators. What are critics saying? Critics of the bill argue that it violates the First Amendment. It could lead to the government deciding what genuine and prosecuting individuals they believe are not telling the truth as criminals. It's a violation of free speech to equate speech with violence. According to the Washington Policy Center, efforts to create an extremism commission continue a concerning trend of high-ranking state officials trying to suppress opposing views. Last year, a bill that would have made it illegal for elected officials and candidates to disseminate false information regarding the results of a state or local election was sponsored by Governor Jay Inslee. Afterward, the bill was defeated in committee. Final thoughts. While the bill's intentions to prevent domestic extremism are commendable, critics argue that it poses a danger to free speech and could create a two-tiered justice system. Addressing the root causes of political violence is essential, but it's equally important to protect free speech and not stifle opposing views. What this bill's future holds and whether it will become law are still in the air.